I'm really excited about today's topic, and I even took a little bit of notes because I want to make sure I don't get off topic. So I've got my list so that we can talk about the to-do list. So today's topic is all about to-do list. Los Cabos, awesome. So do you have a long list of things that you have to do each day, but at the end of the week, you feel like you haven't accomplished anything? That's what we're going to talk about today. So before we get started, I want to hear from you, those of you who are here live, and even when you're watching the replay, please drop down in the comments and let me know what's the average number of things you have on your to-do list every day. In fact, you can even tell me how many things you had on your list today. So drop down into the comments. Let me know how many things on any given day do you have to do. Or if you don't keep a to-do list, let me know. That would be surprising. But to those of you who do, how many things do you have to do every single day on your to-do list? So those of you who are just joining, say hello, let us know where you're from, and let me know in the comments how many things every single day you have to do on your to-do list. So I'm Jessica Perez-Beebe. I am a coach. No list here. Wow, Jim. Awesome. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Jessica Perez-Beebe. I'm a results coach. I basically help ambitious women and men get the results that they want in their life. So whether that's has to do with your health, your business, your lifestyle, really I help clients get to the heart of the matter, and we help get you unblocked from any mindset blocks that you have, and really just help get you focused so that you can get the results that you want. And so that's what today's topic is all about. It's about making sure that your to-do list is being optimized so that you can actually get results, okay? So let me just share a little bit about my history with to-do lists. I'm like the list queen, okay? It was like a running joke in my family for so long. Not only would I have a long list of things to do every single day, I'm talking like a long list, right? A long piece of paper filled with stuff. This isn't a list, by the way. It's just some chicken scratch. But I would have a long list of things to do, and then I'd have a reminder note not to forget to look at my list, right? So I'd have lists on top of lists. And I never saw that as a problem. It was kind of like a funny thing. And then, you know, fast forward a few years or decades, well, a few years, until I realized, you know, what that was all about, which is what we're going to get into today. So for those of you who are big list makers, I can resonate. I completely understand. I'm so the queen of lists. So I used to be, and now I'm a more efficient list maker, and I'm going to tell you all about that. And I'm looking down because I have a little message coming in that my Instagram had a little bug. Okay, so want to make sure the Instagrammers can see me. Okay, perfect. So here's what I want to say to you about your list, okay? Is most people who I speak to have the list thing down. They have a long list of goals. They have all the things that they're going to do. They have all these plans and good intentions. But at the end of the day, the end of the week, the end of the month, they really have nothing to show for it. Okay, so the upside of being a doer, right? Making a list and being somebody who's always doing something and accomplish something and setting goals is really, you know, that you are self-motivated most of the time, and that you know, don't need someone to kind of get you going, right? So that's kind of the upside. You really kind of take a stand for pursuing your goals. But the downside is, or the downside becomes, when you're not actually accomplishing anything of real value and of real importance. Okay, does that make sense? So when you're turning into a workaholic at the expense of the other areas in your life, that's when being a doer, having the long to-do list, and being constantly active and filling your day with always something to do and something to check off, that's when that becomes actually detrimental to your life and to your bigger vision for your life. Okay, so James Pressfield talks about, those of you who are clients of mine and watching the replay, you'll know that I talk about this book often, The War of Art. Not The Art of War, which is an old historical book, but the War of Art. And he talks about resistance, right? And he talks about resistance and the fact that most of the time people get caught up doing the urgent stuff, which you may have referred to as busy work, right? They get caught up in doing the urgent stuff and completely avoiding the important stuff. Okay, so here's an example of some urgent things: checking your email, replying to text message, doing housework, doing the shopping. Yes, they sound like they are important, but really those are things that most of the time we hide behind so that we can feel like we've actually accomplished something, like we're checking something off that list, right? Those are things that we hide behind so that we can feel like we've actually done something, when most of the time the important stuff in our life, things that actually support our higher vision, our dreams for ourselves, those things are the important things, and they're being put on the back burner, right? Because at the end of the day, you can say, oh my God, I did this, that, and the other thing today, and you're exhausted and you've given it your all, but you didn't have time to do what was most important. And so perhaps that's, having that hour or 2 hours a day to write, a chapter in the book that you keep meaning to write, right? And that's something that's really close to your heart. It's something that is really passionate to you. It's something that you really want to accomplish, but you fill up your day with all this other stuff and you never get to that. So people often put their goals and their dreams on the back burner for this other stuff that really doesn't amount to anything. Okay, so some important things besides following your dreams in terms of writing your manuscript or whatever it is. Perhaps you're starting a new business and there's things that you need to do in order to get up and running instead of just sitting around talking about it. Other important things are, perhaps there's an important conversation you need to have with your spouse that you're avoiding. Perhaps it's paying the bills that you're avoiding, so you keep yourself busy in all of these other things. So the important things are the things that actually get you to your higher vision in life, to your higher goal. And if you don't have a goal for your life, if you don't have a vision for your life, if you don't have a goal for your year, something that you want to achieve or accomplish, whether personally or professionally, then you're really kind of just letting life happen to you instead of being a co-creator with the universe and God. And so if you're stuck at that, you can click the link that's here in the description, and that will take you to booking a free call with me where I really help you come up with a strategy, because it's really important that you are in the driver's seat of your life, like I said, so that you're co-creating and things, you're just not reacting, right? You're not just putting out fires all the time. We talk about that a lot as business owners, right? It's important that you're not just going through your day and your week and your month just reacting to things and putting out fires. It's the same thing in your life. So when I lived by this whole mentality of, the more I check off, the more busy I am, the more I get accomplished, the more valuable I am. For me, and you need to look at what this means for you. For me personally, when I took a step back, I realized that a lot of my self-worth was tied up in how much I accomplished. And so if I wasn't accomplishing something big, I better create lots of little tasks around the house, to check off on my list so that I really feel like I'm getting things done, right? So do you see how that can pull you out of actually being productive, out of actually doing things that are important and that are true accomplishment in your life and that are bringing you true joy in your life, right? That's just, if you're just in a go, go, go mode with no real connection to why you're doing things or to how it leads to something bigger or more purposeful in your life, then you really are just kind of lost and going through the motions. And I don't want that for you. Okay. And I didn't want that for me. And so I've made huge changes around this to where I've really become a master at, well, I won't say a master. It's always a work in progress, but I've become very, very good at optimizing my time and my priorities. No longer am I trying to do everything at once. And that's still, like I said, something that I keep working on. You're like a recovering workaholic, right? You still have those things that come up. Anybody here resonate with that? So another little piece I want to touch on here is a little deeper, okay? And this is about the fact that if you're always keeping yourself busy, and doing things, often it's because you're trying to avoid some kind of connection, vulnerability, real connection, and being present, right? Because if you can keep yourself busy and if you can make yourself look busy to the outside world, then you also keep people at a distance. Don't talk to me. Don't ask me to take anything else on. I'm super busy. Don't ask me to get too deep with you because I'm busy. I've got lots of stuff going on, right? So it's a way of keeping yourself disconnected. And if that resonates with you, let me know. I've been talking a lot lately about being vulnerable. And so that's a way of of protecting yourself from being vulnerable. So be open to that idea. Okay. So the one important question that I promised to share with you in this live that you can ask yourself when you catch yourself constantly being in this busy, go, go mode, or, what else can I add to my list? How much more can I do in a day? When you catch yourself in that, take a step back and ask yourself, what am I avoiding? So the question is, what am I avoiding? And that could be that you're avoiding something really important that you need to do. And so instead you're cleaning the house or checking your email or wasting time on social media. And that important thing could be, like I said, an important conversation you need to have with someone. It could be that you're avoiding being truly present. You're afraid to be present with the people in your life. You're afraid to be connected. You're afraid to be seen, to be vulnerable. So you keep yourself moving, right? So you want to ask yourself that question on a regular basis. And I do that now. So I've gotten really good at not filling every second of my day, unless I'm particularly super laser focused working on a business project and I've already scheduled out allotted time. But if I find myself getting in that busy kind of energy and I start adding like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 things to my list, I pause, I take a step back, and then I'm honest with myself. I ask myself the honest question, is there something I'm trying to avoid? And sometimes it might be that very important thing that I need to get done for my business. And maybe it's something difficult. And so I've been putting it off. So I give myself these other little busy things to do. And as soon as I notice it, I make the shift. It could be something in my personal life that I'm avoiding, right? So if I keep myself super busy, I don't have to have that, important conversation, with my spouse or my brother or, somebody else in my life that I really need to be talking to. So ask yourself that question. What is it that I'm avoiding? And whatever it is you're avoiding, move into it, step into it, because that's where the openness happens. Okay. So then I'm going to give you a strategy. If you do find yourself just constantly with this long to-do list, but you don't feel like you've accomplished anything, right? Okay. So like, oh, wow, I cleaned the house, but have I done anything to get me closer to my weight loss goal? Have I done anything to get me closer towards starting the business that, I'm dreaming of? Have I done anything that's gotten me closer, that's really moving me forward, not just talking about it and lip service, but have I done anything to move me forward into that goal that I have for the year? Whether that's getting better with your finances, making more money, investing in yourself, whatever it is, if you find that your list isn't supporting that important goal in your life, not your busy stuff, then here's a strategy for how to get all the nonsense off of your plate, out of your head, and make room for getting the important things done in your life. Okay, so here's what I do. I do kind of a brain dump, right? So I just brain dump into my notebook at the end of the night, like all the things that I want to get done and all the things that need to get done, right? And then I go through and I cross off the things that I recognize are really just urgent things. They're not that important. You know, I don't have to put in there reply to emails and things like that, because those are the things that end up getting done anyway. But what I need to focus on are the things that I won't do unless I really make it a priority. So I cross off all of the busy stuff and I leave room for just one, you heard me right, one very important task or action that's going to move me towards my greater goal. So I always ask myself, does this support my 1-year vision? Okay. And then I might even break it down to, does this support my vision for this quarter? So if you don't even have a vision for the year, you need to start there. But before I go to bed at night, I come up with one thing. I dump all the stuff on a piece of paper so it's not in my head. And then I eliminate everything that is not of utmost importance that's going to move me towards my big goal and towards what's important in my life. Okay, and that's all I have on my list. Now, that doesn't mean I don't do other things throughout the day. Of course I do, but not until that one thing is done. So that no longer are the important things being pushed to the end, or, you know, being pushed to the next week and the next month again, but they're getting done first. Because believe me, those urgent things like, you know, cleaning the house, checking the email, text message, all of that stuff, it gets done without you having to schedule it. That's why you do it anyway, right? So then you can graduate to really creating space in your life, which is what I do now. I hire everything out. I delegate as much as I can. I no longer waste my time cleaning the house. I hire somebody to do that. Yes, you can afford it. You can find something in your price range, whether it's once a month for a big cleaning, every 2 weeks, once a week. You know, if you can have somebody, you know, 3, 4, 5 times a week, great. Whatever it is, there is a way that you can start creating space in your life so that you are only doing what's really important for moving you forward, right? So now I get help with my daughter during the day. I get help around my business. I'm building a team in my business to take over so many other things inside the business that are sucking up my time and energy, because I want to focus on what's really important. And what's important in my business is me being able to be fully present and connected with my clients, and to also be open for potential new clients, right? I can't have that focused energy for them if I'm spending time on all the administrative things, right? And in my family life, I can't be fully present with my husband and my daughter at the end of the day if I'm trying to clean the house and all, you know, all those other things. When I'm done work, I want to be present with them. So that's the next step in graduating. But first, it's what am I trying to avoid? And what's the one thing that's really important for me to do tomorrow that I commit to doing no matter what before anything else? Okay, those two things alone are going to start moving you towards being more productive, more efficient, less time wasting. And I do recommend, if you haven't read the book yet, to get the book by James Pressfield, The War of Art. You can download it on Kindle. You can buy it. It's a super easy, fun book to read. And there's so much good stuff in there about why you fill your day with all this other time, why you're resisting what you really want to be doing in your life. So thank you guys so much for being here. I know a lot of you are catching me on the replay. I want to give you a heads up that my my social media people are doing some analytics and seeing what's the best time for us to do Facebook Live. So we may be changing the time, but I will let you know. And if you think this will help someone that you know, please share this video with them or share it on your page. And so far, I will see you next week at the same time, same place. And if you're not on my email list, get on it. I will type in my website here. This is where you get all my goodies, but I'll also let you know when I'm going live next in case we do change the time. So thanks so much for being here. There's a link in the scheduler if you want to schedule a free strategy call with me to get really clear on what it is you should be focusing on in 2018. 2018, numerology wise, is all about abundance. So get yourself clear, get your vision clear, get some support, and get in the habit of doing what's important, not urgent. Thanks for joining me.